am a makeup artist. I am a special effects applicator, I like to call it. I do wig sculpts, wig styling, and I also style hair. My name is Ashley Trove. I am also a makeup artist. I also do paranormal investigating. I don't know how I tie them together, but somehow that's how I tie my careers together.
Ghost makeup.
Ghost makeup.
Ghost makers.
I am Danielle Banks, aka Makeup by Siren, and I'm a makeup artist and do other things that are totally unrelated to makeup. Made like her universe normal, unrelated, but yeah, that's me.
Hi, my name is Kaylin Ashley. I am a freelance special makeup effects artist, creature designer, and sculptor, and all-around maker of characters. Some of you might recognize me from Face Off or Ashley's Girlfriend.
Yeah!
I did that thing. I sold myself. Thank you.
So we're going to go through some basic questions, things that we generally get asked when we do this panel, and then towards the end we'll open it up for Q&A. So if you have any questions you want specifically answered, go ahead and start stewing on those, and we'll get started. So to kick it off, since I think this is really at the beginning of the process, Dawn, can you tell us what's important and like basics that you should have in your kit, especially for like basic beauty makeups?
Basic things that I would recommend you have would be face primer, eye primer, foundation obviously, concealer, mascara. It's some type of lip product, liner, doesn't matter as long as you have a lip product in there, because you can multi-use them, and an eyeliner of some sort.
And then to finish it off, Chrissy, I know you have a lot of makeup products that you really like to use by way of finishing products to keep the makeup on. It's important once the look is done that it stays where you put it. What do you like to use best?
There's something called Final Seal that Ben Nye makes, and anybody should use it if you really want something like a application to stay, or especially my favorite latex. I would use Green Marble, which is epic. Krylon also has aerosol can sealer spray, which I love on body buttons.
Pick me. Also, if you've been walking around the booth, European Body Art, who's actually here today, they just came out with a wonderful sealing product. That's a spray as well.
I'm
And
not
that's
scratching all
amazing.
my also somebody with
Yeah, go by and say hi to Alden at European Body Art. He's wonderful. They have wonderful products. Pretty much everything you see on that fine gentleman over there is European Body Art.
Makeup by Kaylin.
Amazing, right? So I know that this comes up quite often, and I'm sure all of you ladies have experienced this. Everybody has different face shapes, different eye shapes. It's really important to assess that. And I actually wanted to ask Ashley what she likes to do when she's doing especially beauty makeups. How do you go about figuring out the best look based on the face of the person you're with?
It's really funny. I went to school for this, and my teacher always told me fake it until you make it. And so, honestly, that's kind of what I do. I glare at my models a lot, and it's not me trying to have a really mean face. It's me backing up, and I'm trying to examine them. And so I'm constantly having to move and talk and like act like a normal person around me, so I'm not seeing just a serious face, because then I get an idea of, when they're moving, what their makeup's going to look like in shots or in film or anything. So it's a lot of me staring at people, which makes them uncomfortable, and a lot of judging, honestly, if that makes sense. But yeah, making it till I make it.
And to add on to, we've talked a little bit about beauty makeups already so far. Kaylin, since you do a lot of monster makeups and specialize in that, not everybody has everything available to them to really create something so amazing as the makeup you did today to start out with. What do you recommend that they start out with to get into that?
I mean, it's amazing how many beauty products that you can actually use to facilitate that process. A ton of what I work with are just eyeshadows. If you have a lip pencil and a lipstick, you can do bruising, you can do cuts and wounds really simply. If you take a mascara wand and scrape it using a little bit of lipstick, you can make some really quick, easy wounds that way. But going into it further, I always try and start with playing with prosthetics, playing with latex. Be aware that once you start to break into the world of special effects, that all of those products, they're a little bit more caustic than your average everyday beauty use. So read your labels, test on your hand before you do anything on the face. and really just trying to get educated on the products that you're using when you move forward with special effects. It's really important to be aware and be safe with those things.
Yeah, and speaking of things being caustic and really sanitation, all that, I know, Dawn, it's really important with you. You always talk a lot about the sanitation, cleaning brushes. What do you recommend that people have on hand to make sure that they really are getting their stuff cleaned up and sanitized?
Always have alcohol. That is like the basic if you don't want to spend like money on special products for things like eyeshadows, blushes, like powder products. One powder product sanitizer that I use is Beauty So Clean spray. And it helps kill all bacteria and stuff, especially if you have multiple clients. It keeps everyone from getting bad things in their eyes and whatnot. And I also use brush cleaners in between clients, and every time I use a brush, I'll clean it. Like with Pairing Spirit's a good one. Cinema Secrets is another good one. They smell really good, so your clients will be appreciative of the good smell of the brushes, even though they're clean. Those are things I always use constantly, so I usually go through those things pretty fast because I want to make sure nobody gets an infection or anything they're not supposed to have, and everybody feels comfortable because it makes your clients, it makes yourself comfortable when you know that there's clean things going on your face. So it's like super important to me.
And actually, because we were talking a little bit about budget with special effects as well. Chrissy, I know you like to use a lot of unusual materials, and you've done a lot of things where you've been on a production budget or a personal budget. What are some tips and tricks of unusual materials maybe people should look into getting?
I find myself doing a lot of zombies real quickly because that's always popular. And if you don't have the shop or the studio or the space or the budget to hire Keelan over here, but still use something specifically made for your face. I've done a lot of weird things with thread and latex. I'll break up pieces of sponges, and I will do. I will stick something to your face. It sticks to your face, and it works. But
I made lasagna noodles in the gills once.
if you can eat it, put it on your face. Oh yeah. Rice Krispies. You just testing with stuff. You just get creative. And when I first started off, I was so protective over foam latex appliances that I was like, anything I'd have to trim or cut off, I'm going to save all this because I'm going to do something else.
Brain chunks.
Yeah.
A fun fact about a makeup that I did on the show was the tree character that I did, if anybody remembers that one. That entire cowl was literally cotton and latex and then L200 rods of EVA foam, and that was it. Entirely fabricated and cost me like $5. Well, that, not me.
Cost you that $5.
Cost it $5.
Google it. Go on YouTube. There's tons of tutorials and DIYs. Just be really cautious of certain safety techniques when it comes to
Yeah, if it doesn't sound safe, don't do it.
If they say ow, it's probably not a good thing to copy. Just a rule of thumb.
Yeah. Well, when you start getting into those big makeups, I know you guys have all been asked pretty frequently what you like to use when it comes to body paint. Body paint's such a big part of cosplay, so I'd love a little bit more about that.
I generally, I pretty much swear by European Body Art. They're one of the best top-of-line products. They're alcohol-based. They also have a water-based line as well for more body paint-oriented things. But the great thing about European Body Art is that it doesn't rub off. It'll last all day.
It smells like candy.
It smells wonderful. It smells like sunshine and rainbows and flowers and unicorns.
It smells like blueberries.
It makes it dangerous. It smells so good.
Yeah.
And I have to agree, EVA is probably one of my absolute
Yeah, and then if I weren't gonna go in that route, I would say Krylon Aqua Colors. They just released a product called Krylon Aqua Proof, and it's basically the same aqua color that probably some of you have played around with, but there's an activator that makes it smudge proof, and you can actually go from a black to a white, and there won't be any mix of the two colors whatsoever. It's amazing. And if you guys saw my Tin Man, that was straight aqua proof and dark gray, and then dry brushing of silver all over. That's awesome.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not a full body makeup. Like I know that you actually have done a lot of makeups with like sugar skulls and things like that, and superhero masks where it looks like it's a 3D superhero mask, but it's actually 2D.
Yeah, I did that a lot actually. It's funny because I don't use body paints and stuff for those a lot of the time. I use whatever makeup I happen to have in my kit. Actually, it's really funny because the skull makeup that I did, you were in that shoot with me.
Yeah. We did our own makeup that day. That
We
was
did,
fun. We were
yeah.
having like dueling
Well,
makeup.
yeah, we weren't. Yeah, we just kind of just threw it on really fast. Yeah, for those ones, honestly, I would now use European body art or something like that now. But originally, you know, if you just gotta throw something together really quick, I was using eyeliner and whatever just happened to be there. And it always worked. I always had really good shots and everybody really liked it. And for years all my makeup was on a budget, so it
Another
worked quite well.
user-friendly product is Wolf Brothers. Their face paint palette they can use for sugar skulls, for skulls. Those 2D superhero masks, they're perfect for that kind of thing. It's really highly pigmented. It's safe to use on children, which is really important for me. I do a lot of kids' makeups as well, and that's probably would be my next go-to after some of the more like professional grade lines.
My only thing is don't use that Halloween makeup. That Halloween cream, my little brother did a play a few days ago and he came home with hot pink eyeshadow and I went to go clean his face and it stained his face for 4 days. With every makeup cleaner I had, his face was stained. So don't use cream makeup from Halloween stores.
Well, and often what you're having to do with these kind of makeups, especially with comic books and things like that, is you're taking a 2D character and translating them in a 3D way. So I'd love to know, and Dawn, I know you do a lot of this too and stuff that's inspired. How do you guys like to take something 2D, break it apart, and determine how you're going to translate it to a 3D format?
When I do my superhero eye makeups, I usually look at their colors first. I look at the superhero's colors first. I pull like every single color I can out of what the colorist did in the comic. And then I kind of look at the personality. And I'm like, would this character have a cat eye makeup? Would she have winged liner? Would she have like super dramatic? Would she have a smoky eye? Like I kind of think about the character a lot and their personality. And then I kind of look at the design of their costume. And sometimes I like to pull elements, like if they're super angular, I like to draw some angular lines. Or if they're like a soft, flowy outfit, then I like to kind of blur things out a little bit, make it a little softer. So that's how I usually work with translating a superhero into an eye makeup.
In terms of like body makeups or creating a full character from 2D necessarily into a 3D format, I was fortunate enough when creating Booga, I had the film to work with and would reference quite a bit. But as a makeup artist, I don't generally like to do a cosplay that's straight from the page or straight from the screen. I like to throw in my own artistic elements, and so I'll think about in ways in which that I can kind of make a character of my own. How can I influence, my own personality into a character? So like my tank girl is not like anybody else's tank girl because, that's my Buffy patch and that's my paranoid Black Sabbath patch. I try to throw in elements of my own personality into a character like that. If you can do that, and I love seeing mashups where you see, that kind of thing. Really just, it's about using your creativity to figure out how can I make this character come to life to me? It doesn't have to come to life to everybody, but as long as it comes to life to me, then I've done my job.
Are you wearing makeup gloves on your hands as you're cut off?
Heck yeah, I am. Leather gloves, who needs them?
I buy gloves like they're my job.
Oh yeah, and sorry. Something else I totally forgot is that if I'm doing makeup on like a cosplayer for a certain character, I kind of really pick, if it's a character I know really well, like say Jean Grey. Jean Grey is not the type of girl to wear a smoky eye. Like that's not her. She's pretty square. She's pretty vanilla. Jean Grey's gonna probably have a little bit of eyeliner and keep it very light and like playful. She's not gonna be super sultry and stuff unless she's Dark Phoenix. That's totally different. So you kind of really like when you're doing your makeup for your character, know the personality, and that makeup will actually help you convey their personality.
Well, I was just gonna chime in on that with more about wigs, where
I was actually just about to ask you about wigs, because honestly, it's such a big thing beyond the makeup to have the hair, and that's really challenging. So also just what tools they should have in their kit for wigs.
So the same goes with wigs, where I look at like someone's like comes to me and saying, hey, I want a robe wig, for example. I'm like, okay, cool. What version of robe do you want? And do you want to go comic accurate? Do you want auburn brown hair, or do you want the way this inker has made it super red. So I actually go back and forth between an auburn red hair and like this brown because it just depends on my mood. And I can do it both ways. Mood hair. So it's just a matter of what they're doing, where they're gonna go. Are they gonna be running around? Are they gonna be dancing? Are they a performer? Are they entering in a competition? Is it editorial? Is it for film? Whatever it may be, I have to base the style off of all of those elements. And hairspray at the end of the day, even a can of Aquanet is the best thing you can have for your wig to make it, last all day.
Free spray.
Huh?
That free spray. Oh my god, that's amazing on
Spray.
wigs.
They got to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody loves that. Oftentimes, even if your costume falls apart, you're not gonna go buy blues and you're sewing.
I mean, maybe not you.
I got my hot glue.
Fine, let me get a hat right now.
I got my hot glue on
I do
standby.
bring
glue with me in my cosplay repair kit in case someone's like, oh my god, my cloud spike's falling out. Like, let me go fix that for you. But yeah, hairspray and cloud spike. Yeah. But hairspray and my favorite brush, which I don't have on me, but it's actually a teasing comb that's usually on a wooden handle, and I use it for brushing through hair. I use it for all of my hair styles, whether it's human hair or wigs, and it is my number one go-to.
I like that you look to see if you have it on you, like you carry it.
I do.
So what I do? It's like, let me just pull this big.
I'm gonna pat you down.
talking about.
So when people are starting out, it can be super, super intimidating. If you had to give like one core piece of advice to somebody who's new to makeup and starting out, what would it be?
I get this a lot because I teach, and one thing that I always want to communicate to whoever's doing it is have fun. It shouldn't be scary. You shouldn't be so fearful of making a mistake, because guess what, you will. And I can point out every mistake I made on that makeup. I
Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, because if you don't say anything, they won't notice.
Yeah, like it should be fun. You're making a monster, you're making a superhero. Like, it shouldn't be so scary that you decide not to do it. And just run with it. And if it's the first time you ever, even touch a prosthetic, if it's the first time you try winged eyeliner and you mess up, it's makeup. It'll wipe right off. So just go into it having fun and trying not to be fearful.
And set time aside and play with it. Like if you have a free day on the weekend and you
Lots
have
of
nothing to
friends,
do,
volunteers.
sit in front of a mirror and just play with makeup. See what you can do with your face. See what you can create. And if there's something specific you want to learn how to do, try to do it yourself. And if you don't learn, then go on YouTube and see how someone else did. And go, oh, maybe that'll work for me. Just play with makeup.
It's true. A lot of the makeup gigs that I've gotten have been from just stuff that I was playing with at home, and I post a picture and somebody's like, oh, I happen to need a look just like that. So even just doing fun looks by yourself at home and Instagramming it.
Do lots of allergy tests too, guys, because half the time you don't know if you or your client or friend is allergic to latex, or
That's the biggest
how I
one.
know for some reason. Yeah, you don't want to find out the hard way.
Or just ask them, are you allergic to latex?
Speaking of clients, there's always going to be a makeup or a hair piece or something that might just be a little unattainable, a little bit out of reach for the average Joe. What advice do you guys have for booking somebody at a convention? Because I know that question comes up a lot, and a lot of people don't understand the etiquette and process to hiring somebody.
First, booking for the convention itself.
Yeah, so you're booking
Like
a
what
makeup
happened
artist,
today.
you're booking somebody to do your a wig for you.
I would think the polite way for me anyway is I would say, hi, are you for hire? How much do you normally charge? This is what I have in mind. Just kind of ask questions to kind of educate yourself, but at the same time be very polite. I appreciate politeness. You can say the wrong thing, but as long as you're polite, it makes it better. There's really no way to be wrong about it.
We're there, we have our cards out,
Right.
we're obviously there doing demonstrations on something at some point. We would love to be booked. We love the work, so. I almost sold my Super Saiyan wig 3 times today. I was like, it's just display, Nerdist owns it, but best offer.
Generally I work on a commission base where it's not necessarily something that I can do on a day. Doing a beauty makeup is one thing, but when I'm approached about a prosthetic,
that's a bit of planning on my part and a bit of planning on their part, because it starts with a life cast, or if I don't have a life cast, then I have to work with a generic life cast, then sculpt that piece, mold it, cast it. There's a lot more that goes into creating a custom piece than a lot of people are aware of, thankfully, and what I'm always really happy about Face Off has done is it does give a little bit of light to how much work it really is. So when I throw out a number, it's not because, you know, I just want $1 million. It's because these products cost this much, these products cost this much, and be like, well, can you do it for $20? That's a little hurtful.
Yeah, but Caitlin, does it only take 22 minutes in commercials?
It only takes time lapse as a mother. And that's one thing.
Language.
As a mother.
Oh,
You're
Chandler,
professional, you just have to factor in your time.
Yeah, I mean, even if it does take me 2 days to do it, it took me 10 years to do it in 2 days. So that's something, I think, if anything, just be conscious and be aware of what you're asking for. And, you know, if it does seem like it's a little bit out of reach, then maybe think of like, how can I synthesize it so it's a little more accessible to me for, you know, a cosplay, or if it's for a convention. One thing that's important is, do you need it to last more than 1 day? Basically, if you want it 1 day, then that's one thing, but if you want it to last multiple runs or multiple days, it's a completely different project, so. The end.
So I know another thing that you guys often get asked are brushes. A lot of people have questions about brushes. What brand do you use? What types should you have? Can you use one for a lot of different things? So it'd be great if you could talk a little bit about what brushes you feel you always have to have.
It depends on really what you're doing. I work with a mixed variety of brushes, but generally you're going to be working with either a synthetic brush or a natural fiber brush. Natural fibers are generally you work with powders, and then synthetics are generally creams or liquids, or in my instance, I use a lot of alcohol-based paints, and it's almost like working with watercolor. Those are kinds of brushes that I'm going to need those things. But as far as brands, I've never really been a huge brand snob. Like, I think that you can make cheap art store brushes that are 7 in a pack for $5 work. And I have a ton of those kinds of brushes. So I don't think that you should be limited by, you know, a specific brand. I think find what works best for you and run with it.
It's all about how you choose to use the brush and what you're doing it for. It's really important that it's comfortable for the client. So like Dawn said, make sure to test it on yourself, see how it feels, but otherwise use what you got.
I am same thing again. Watercolor brushes from like Michael's or Joann's are my absolute favorite, especially with alcohol-based paints, face painting, body paints. I do have a nice set of Royal and Langnickel that I use on the face, like for painting makeup, but I just love throwaway watercolor brushes. They're really cheap, and half the time I'm getting so much crap on them that I don't need to keep them as long. But yeah, just find out what works for you.
And before we start looking to open it up to Q&A, I know we had a really great question the last time we did this panel, and somebody asked how you guys got started in this, which I think is really important to ask, because I think a lot of people are intimidated. They don't think that they can do it, so it's really, it helps to know how others get their start.
I guess I can.
All at the same time, just speak right over each other.
Can I say bless that woman? She was wonderful. I got started in special effects makeup and just makeup in general, doing, wow, it's so much louder. Have I been yelling? I got started in musical theater first, as a performer first, and, you know, through a love of performance myself, I was really bad at my own makeup. So I learned how to do makeup through theater, and then decided one day that, you know, if I'm gonna be an actor, I might as well, you know, not have to wait tables, and makeup seems fun. And so eventually I found myself getting more work as a makeup artist than I did as an actor, so who's to say if I'm that good of an actor, but I guess I'm a decent makeup artist. And taught for 2 years up in San Francisco, and teaching did more for me as a makeup artist than anything else did, because if I can, you know, instruct somebody else how to do it, then it further makes my own abilities better. And then from there, that's kind of where Face Off fell into my lap, and, you know, I was blessed with that opportunity, and I still am like, wait, I did that? That was me? And so, you know, just from there, just been making monsters every day. Holler. Yes, come on in. Get in here.
I actually didn't go to school for makeup. I'm self-taught, and you don't necessarily have to go to school for beauty makeup.
Truth.
It's a lot of playing self. You don't have to for beauty anyway. For special effects,
Even
you can go
special
either way,
effects,
but
there's
no. But I mean, you can if you want. I mean, but
I would
you don't
say
have
one
to.
thing about school is that it speeds up the process. I learned what would have taken me 10 years in 16 months,
Yeah.
basically.
That's the benefit.
Thanks for showing me my ways of money, you guys.
But I started as a beauty blogger. Yeah. I started as a beauty blogger, and I would just sit there and do my makeups on my blog and play with eye makeup and take pictures and put it on my blog. And then people started kind of asking me like, hey, can you do my makeup, or do you want to work on this photo shoot and do makeup on models? And I'm like, okay. Like, I feel a little confident in what I'm doing, and it's kind of how it started. Yeah, just playing around with makeup, and then people realizing they liked my makeup and asking me to do stuff. So, yeah.
Keep it, girl.
Alright. Just kidding. Okay. How did I guess it was the same thing. Theater for me. I started doing prom makeups, and it kind of started there, and I was going to school to be a lawyer. And I realized one day that I could, this is still wet for your drink.
So we can't have nice things guys in that thing.
I didn't think, I thought I had to be a lawyer. I didn't realize that you could have a profession to be a makeup artist. And so once I realized that I could get these paying gigs to do makeup, I was like, well, why not? Why don't I just start doing it? And so I started working with Chrissy and Matt, which is really funny. I started working with them years ago at this Nerdy Girls website, and it just kind of jump-started everything, and I haven't stopped. I've just been doing makeup ever since.
Oh, full circle.
Full circle.
It's such a full circle.
It's so Oxnard, ew.
I know. It is so Oxnard,
Oh
isn't it?
gosh.
We all went to the same high school. Not me.
No,
Except for you.
Well, you can't sit with us.
For me, I would say it feels like a compilation story of all of theirs.
News story, come on.
News story. No, I drew. I'm an artist, pencils and charcoal, and I was in theater. I was in the marching band, and I just could draw really well. So then I just started doodling and drawing, and then one thing led to another. Canvases changed. I got into someone's face, and I used, can you do my prom makeup? Can you do my homecoming makeup? Can you do my senior pictures makeup? And I didn't think like it was something I was gonna do because I wanted to go to like film. I wanted to be a fashion designer. I don't know what I was thinking in high school because I was a gothic kid. Also, I was a gothic punk rocker little girl in the corner reading comic books, and I wanted to design clothes. And so I just started doing makeup, beauty makeup, and then someone came along in my life was a fashion designer. And she said, hey, do you want to dress up and play and take some photos sometime? And I'm like, yeah, cool, sure. And then I opened my mouth and I said, oh, I also do makeup. And it's so much history from there. Because after that, I was her number one, I was her go-to makeup artist. It was two big, I think it was Rachel Woodward.
Don't know.
Yeah, she's based on Central.
Whatever.
I got a little excited.
But no, it was no. We did two big fashion shows in LA, and I took a little bit of break and just started doing some editorial stuff. I worked with, are you guys familiar with the band Big Bad Voodoo Daddy?
Yeah.
Okay, so the front man, Scott, his wife at the time, Martina, hired me to do, she was a photographer. So that's kind of like my big little break with like, oh, being a celebrity, this is kind of cool. And then I took a long break because work and growing up was more important. And I just started doing it again with a horror pinup site called Ghoul Girls. And I had to, and I was the resident makeup artist, and that's when I got into body paint and special effects and learning all of the things when applying latex prosthetics versus foam latex prosthetics. I still am not a fan of silicone, but
We'll get there, baby.
we'll get that. I know, we're working on that. I didn't go to school. I knew a lot of people who worked in the trade, and I met a gentleman by the name of Frank Ippolito, who was on season 1. Season 1, and high-five something who told me, you don't have to go to school. I'm like, okay, cool. I hung out with him in his shop a lot, and he taught me a handful of things, but then there was no YouTube when I was learning, really, because I'm not trying to age myself, but there wasn't a lot of DIY tutorial stuff, so.
I had 19 days. My tutorial was like.
Then I started doing hair. I didn't know what I was doing. I just went in and said, yeah, I can do hair too. Fake it till you make it. Started learning and teaching myself how to really style hair, and started playing with pinup because that was starting to trend. Took an actual pinup class for pinup hairdos, and just exploded from there. And so, the cosplay community, cosplay world, I do work with Nerdist Mission and all of that now, and it's kind of just what I do where I'm at.
So we kind of got through our questions up here, so we'd really love to hear what kind of questions you guys have and how they can help you with your looks. If you have it.
Don't be shy, come on.
Yay, Deborah.
What age do you have to be to start to like try out for a face off?
To try out for face off, I believe you have to be 18. Just because.
Start working on it now.
I mean, start working on it now. Like, if that's something that you really want to do. Like, I will say one thing about face off, and I get this a lot because it's, a common question is like, face off was a stepping stone for me. It's never the be all end all of my career, and it never was, and it never should be. If that's why you want to be a makeup artist, then, I think reevaluate. But if you want to do makeup because you love it, then make it everything. Start now. There's never too early a time to start playing with makeup.
We had a 10-year-old, I think, in our panel at San Diego who was doing zombie makeup.
Yeah, it's literally, it's never, I've seen amazing things come from people that are so young, and I'm like, I don't like you very much.
I feel like that. You know what? Like, she says that, and I think about some of the amazingly talented girls I've seen on YouTube, and then they're like, I'm 16, and I'm like, they had the talent I didn't have until I was like 24 or something.
Talia, the little.
Yeah.
She was phenomenal, and she was like 12. And
Same thing with Nikki Tutorials was like 16 or 15 when she started, and she was doing like pro level like makeup, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, I didn't jump on that YouTube train.
Yeah.
I mean, start now. Start now. If you want to do it, there's you can't start.
As far as face off though, it's 18 based on the fact that you are working with caustic chemicals that are harmful to you. Naked people, yes. I want to go. I mean, it wasn't bad. But it's a lot of legality issues with like the fact that if you hurt yourself, like that can be on them. They can be liable for it, and it's also something that I auditioned the first time when I was 21, and I wasn't ready even then. Like it's a lot more just not even just your artistic abilities, but it's such a mental experience that if you're not prepared mentally, like I don't know what I would have done had I gotten on that first time I'd auditioned. I was not in the right place mentally. As an artist, I didn't know who I wanted to be in that place. And so for me, I was really happy that I had to wait, basically. And by the time that I got to audition and do it again, I knew what my voice was as an artist. I knew this is the person I wanted to showcase, and this is the kind of art that I wanted to show. So, and if, face off isn't a thing that is in somebody's future, there are other opportunities to showcase your art like that, so.
Thank you. Another question? Yes.
What do you recommend for basic Disney princess facial primer?
Okay. Well, for any beauty makeup, because Disney princess is considered beauty. It's all based on personal preference and what works best for your skin. There's a lot of good primers out there, but they don't work for everybody. My favorite ones that I use are like the one by Youngblood Cosmetics, which are cruelty-free. I use a lot of cruelty-free stuff. Lamasca's Hydra Veil I really like for my dry patches because it hydrates your skin while you're wearing makeup. I haven't used Hourglass, but Hourglass is another brand. NYX, if you're on a lower budget, NYX makes some really great primers for all sorts of things, for shine, for like lightweight porcelain skin, like all sorts of primers, and you get them really cheap, like $3, $4.
We're on a super budget, and I know you know this. The Elf.
Don't point it at
Yeah,
me.
Elf.
Yeah. At Target is actually pretty awesome.
And makeup artist trick, okay? If you don't want to pay like like Youngblood price or Smashbox Cosmetics price, the exact same formula is the preparation. Oh, not preparation. Monostat chafing gel is the same exact formula as Smashbox Cosmetics primer, and you get that at the drugstore for way cheaper. And you use it on your face, and it's literally the same. It's the primer. It's literally the primer.
If you're into organics, vegan, cruelty-free, another good one that I like to use a lot right now is Mineral Fusion. They have multiple different primers. One of them is a hydrating, and that's what I use now. It is fantastic.
I also like Prime Time by Minerals also. But,
Well, it helps to know your skin type. Dawn and I were having a conversation about it earlier. I've been having trouble with oily skin lately, so you have to know your own face as well to determine which of those products is going to work. Yes.
Not it.
Sure. I've gotten very heavily into body paint and airbrushing the last year or so, and we did in case you guys don't know here, Mac is practically the spokeswoman for Brian Kessinger's Victoria and Auto.
Holler.
She is Victoria. So we did a photo shoot with a friend once where I did a hair sculpt as tentacles on a friend, and she was basically Auto, so I had to design something which I used European body art for, which was really awesome and fun, and it was almost like drawing again, but on the body. So I definitely am loving airbrushing everything. That werewolf transformation that you guys haven't seen yet, that's coming on the League of Steam channel for their final episode. That was probably one of my fucking favorite applications I have ever done, and I was super proud of it. And I even showed the werewolf connoisseur over here, and she thought it was pretty great. So yeah,
Pretty
Look
good.
over.
I like to make people look pretty ugly if I can.
Well, do you have talk about the other projects you have coming up, if you can.
Which ones? Oh
Yeah.
god.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you can talk about it.
I can. So
Okay.
there's something called Trek Isolation happening if anybody is a fan of the Star Trek universe. And there's a digital, there's a trailer, a 5-minute trailer that's online right now with Stan Lee in it, and I got to actually do his makeup and dress him and undress him in his uniform. And he, let me have this moment, guys.
Did you guys get my message about Stanley?
Yes.
No one replied.
That was
So we're
jealous.
gonna start
I was
filming
making
that
him.
in the next couple of months, and Michael Roker is gonna be on it, and Katrina Law from Arrow is gonna be on it, and it's really, really exciting, and I just can't wait to meet everyone's faces, so. That's that.
What was the question?
What are your
Upcoming projects?
favorite?
What type of makeups are your favorite, and what upcoming projects do you have?
I like things that challenge me. Being a beauty artist, I have always done things for photo shoots. And so, when I get to do things like film and all these other projects, it's exciting for me because I love to learn new things. So anytime something new is thrown at me and I have to learn to do something different, that's my favorite. I just want to learn. As for upcoming projects, San Diego Comic-Con's coming up. I have the premiere show that I am so excited for. If you guys haven't seen it, please go see it. These artists are unbelievable. Otherwise, I don't know. What I am doing makeup. What?
I'll be doing
You're also doing.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm on
What are
the
you
makeup
doing?
team. I'm on the
What's your
espionage
name?
team.
Yes.
And I'm modeling in the show.
What?
Yeah, it's all
I'm doing Lidl. Is that your name? I'm doing one of the designers' makeup.
And I'm doing the wig for that.
Yeah,
And
I know.
it's Chloe Dykstra.
It is. It is. So, if you guys
We
are
like to
offering
throw love at
jobs,
each other all the
throw
time.
on that maybe too. Simply real weak ones.
My favorite type of makeups to do are the ones where people go, do whatever you want. Like seriously, because that tells me they want me to do some creative, fun stuff. And I'm all about creative, fun stuff, and I'm about colors and doing things like artsy, and that makes me happy. Like I love doing basic beauty, it's fun. I like making people feel good, but I like to be able to express myself and do whatever I want. So those are usually my favorite. And upcoming projects, I am going to be filming a makeup tutorial series for the Icon Network on YouTube, which is one of Michelle Fawn's networks.
Yay!
So I have that coming up tomorrow, and I don't know when it's coming out. Huh? Oh, are we allowed to talk about that? I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that. And another YouTube series that got greenlit with me and Chrissy that might be coming out soon. That I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about yet.
Look for it.
But it's geek related and it's cosplay related, so you guys are gonna want to like
And it's
look
tied
out
to a
for
very
it.
popular old traveling, lots of them convention.
I'm just
Yes.
saying, if you follow all of us on Instagram or Twitter,
You'll see
you'll
all of
get
our
all the
projects.
updates.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge.
My favorite thing to do in makeup is keep people guessing. One thing that Face Off has really allowed me and given me the opportunity to do is showcase my ability to create characters. And I've been really fortunate to get to work with a lot of different companies, you know, developing and doing demos like I did today. So each demo I do, I strive to make it a little different, and so you don't necessarily know what my style really is. I guess my favorite thing to do really is the whimsical makeups. I love to create really fanciful. The Tin Man will always be one of my favorite makeups that I ever have had the opportunity to do because it was so deeply rooted in, you know, my childhood and love of wonder and really just believing that anything is impossible or anything is possible. But upcoming projects leading into that, I'm doing. Next weekend I'll be in Vegas for Amazing Vegas Comic Con, and then I have a panel there. I have 2 panels there. One with Xander, who you guys saw probably today. He's walking up, and then the weekend after that I'm doing the Fame Expo, which is in LA. It's a makeup trade show, and I will be developing, or I am developing, a brand new character. That has never been before seen with my alum friend from season 7, Drew Talbot, who was a finalist. We're doing a joint demo. He's creating a character, I'm creating a character, and they're both going to work together. I think Saturday. Sorry, guys. And I will be bringing something to life that might be a little bit inspired by Candyland. I'll just say that much. I won't say anything more. Drew will get mad at me if I say too much. And I have a couple commissions coming up, a couple I can't talk about, a couple I'm really excited about.
Tell us.
No, because he's here and I'll get mad. But yeah, I'm just working a lot. I'm currently working on a bunch of different commissions for cosplayers. I do that as well as sculpt custom prosthetics for cosplayers. So I'm working on a set of cheeks for someone that might be a cheek recognizable character based on her cheekbones. I don't know who that could be. So I might be working on a set of those, and I might be working on some serious scars if you catch my drift.
I guess both of those, but
Yeah. And then I'm working on my own custom collectibles. I sell magnets. I just started doing a line of soap, so that was fun. That was kind of an accident. I did a Linda Blair soap that's tinted green, because what else?
does it smell like pea soup?
Not yet.
But so I have my hands in a lot of pots, and probably all of them are burning, but we'll see.
Do we have any other questions?
None. Bueller.
All right. If you guys, let's say you had unlimited budget, access to materials, if you could do like one dream makeup on yourself or on another person, what would it be?
Anything with Chris Pratt.
I wouldn't be around.
Naked.
Body paint.
Anything. Yeah, I'll body paint them. I don't care.
I would love to work with Tilda Swinton.
Oh,
I am like
God.
obsessed with her. She is like one of my like make-believe religion like personal deities. Like she's amazing.
Go ahead.
I want to do a character developed completely and 100% based on and inspired by Doug Jones. Bless him. I had the opportunity to work with him about
almost a year ago now. This was right after I came back from Face Off, and I got to meet him and work with him for Nerdist. And he is just the most wonderful human being, on top of being an amazing creature performer. And I have talked to him a couple times about it, and he's always like, "Oh, sure, baby." And I'm like, "You mean it? You wouldn't lie to a girl, would you?" I know he means it. And like every time he likes a photo of mine on Instagram, I'm like, "One day." But if anything, like I would even love to turn him into the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, because I think he'd be fantastic. Like, oh yeah, I see all the eyes in the audience, and so that would probably be the be all end all for me. Like I could, or do Face Off again. Yeah. Put me in, coach.
I always say this is my always go-to answer, but I just want to be the Borg queen.
Yes.
I just want to be the Borg queen.
Yeah.
I got you, bro.
And I want like my torso to be removed, and I want to be hanging on wires.
I can make that happen.
I know people. Let's talk.
I just want you guys to do makeup on me. Come on. None of you have. None of you.
You know how nerve-wracking it is to do makeup on another makeup artist?
I won't judge.
You
Ashley beats my eyebrows so
I
bad.
make my hair.
Do you have your makeup kit today? No. Yeah.
You're allergic to latex, and that's 95% of what I work with.
I'm also allergic to silicone. It's really fun.
Are you really?
Yeah, I just found out brand new allergy.
All the things.
I use it anyway.
I'm like, I'm doomed then. I can't
We're
work.
gonna use toilet paper on you.
I say still use the silicone, but I'm down. Or just use the latex, and I just
Prostate transfer. Are you allergic to prostate?
No.
And then prostate transfers all the way.
Prostate transfers all over her.
Okay, we have a
Let's do
solution.
it.
Done. All right, let's go.
That's it. All right,
All right, we have time for one last question if there are any.
Yes. Yes. Go on. Yeah.
Yes.
This is pretty unrealistic, but let's say you have to go into your kit right now and pick one tool to do the whole entire makeup. What would that one tool be? And then you can't be
Like product or tool?
tool.
You can have all the products.
What look are we doing?
Any look.
Any look.
Any look.
I'm gonna say a chip brush. Done. It's magic. A chip brush, just like an 89-cent hardware store brush, is probably something that I use on every single makeup. I use it on that. I use it for spatter, and I've done Poison Ivy makeups that are full body using just a chip brush that's long and wide. And I use it on that one. You can even, on top of prosthetics, you can keep the bristles long and work with it. As long as you're not like stabbing with it, it's my brush that I'll get done. Or my airbrush. Actually, no. Ooh, I take it back, my airbrush. God, I'm sorry.
All of it.
That covers everything.
That's done, yeah, the end.
That's everything.
It's in my toolkit, my
It's in our
airbrush
kit
counts.
downstairs.
It is in my kit. I use it all day every day. And I can do spatter that way too. Ha ha ha.
Dude, that's a hard question because I would have said airbrush if I had one in my kit right now. Damn.
What if your kid's not here?
MacGyver that stuff.
Take some time.
You know what? Like maybe like a. Oh man. I want to say like maybe like a blending brush, like a fluffy blending brush, because you can do an entire eye with that. You can do your contour on your cheekbones. You can do blush.
What about the brows?
You can do brows. Very light hair.
When you like press it with your fingertips?
Yeah. See. Mm-hmm. I guess I would use that.
Well, it's funny. I was actually in this situation. Dawn was here for this. We had to go shoot, and I was running late, and we got to the photo shoot, and I was setting everything up, and I realized I left my brushes all at home. Every one of them. I had like 3 random blending brushes in my kit, so I have to agree. Blending brush, it did everything I needed it to do. Otherwise, I'd say angle brush. Yeah, angle brush. I feel like I can create anything with, and I use like an elf angle brush, so I'm not worried about that much either. But I'm thinking. Do you remember that though? Because
Yes. Oh my god, I remember my face. I was like.
Yeah, no, showed up with like 3 random brushes that were just like laid in my kit.
That happened to me
What did I
once.
do?
I would definitely say airbrush because yes,
You
but
get to choose.
I'm not yet. I love my angle brush with the smaller ones, but I can do more uses with it. I'm trying to think of my kit right now, which is hair stuff. So like,
Use a comb.
honestly, a non-latex in case you're allergic, but cosmetic wedge or sponge. If it's not a brush, I'll use a sponge because I can tear it, cut it, and make it all kinds of things.
Yeah, but do you get the scissors if you only have one tool?
I can rip it, I can tear it.
That actually happened to me though on Face Off. I was doing my homecoming queen and I left all my entire brush roll, including my airbrushes, in the van right before last looks, which we get 1 hour. And so I literally had like sponges and a chip brush and did most of the rest of that makeup with a chip brush. And then like ran to Sasha and like, Sasha, can I have one brush? I just need your lips.
I just need to say I'm living for her jacket. She just walked in. Her
Oh
jacket.
yeah, girl. We talking about
This gold jacket that just walked in.
Yes.
Love your jacket. Amazing. Living for it. Yes.
All right, well, we're just about out of time, so where can people find you online if they have further questions or just want to follow your work?
If you find one of us, you'll find all of us.
I'm-
We tag each other in everything. So
Yeah.
if you find one, you'll find all of us. So just remember someone.
Well,
Because we obviously don't like each other at all.
Where can we find you, Miss Nick?
I am strange like that pretty much anywhere that you would want to look for me.
Yeah, you are.
Yes,
Yeah, you
it's way too apropos, but anyway.